Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we'll be starting with the lesson 12 of science, that is light, shadows and reflection. So first of all we'll see the chapter overview. What are things are we going to study in this chapter? First we'll see about what is light. Then we will see the sources of light. Then about the beam and a ray of light. Then we will see about different kinds of objects. In this we will see what we mean by transparent, translucent and opaque objects. Then we will see about the shadows, eclipses. In eclipse we will see the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Then the pinhole camera and a plane mirror. So these all topics are we going to cover. First of all we see what is light. Light is a type of wave that carries energy through matter or space. A source of energy such as the sun or a light bulb gives off light waves that spread out in all directions from the light source. A light ray is a narrow beam of light that travels in a straight line. So according to this, what we can say, that light is a energy, okay, or a wave that carries energy. Next we have the different sources of light. In this we have two kinds of sources, luminous sources and the non-luminous sources. Luminous sources, they produce their own light. For example, sun, light bulb, campfire and a firefly. Non-luminous sources, they do not produce their own light. For example, moon, a person, a pencil, etc. So these are known as the non-luminous sources. Next we have a ray of light and a beam of light. A ray of light is a narrow beam of parallel light which can be represented by a line with an arrow in it. A group of rays makes up a beam of light. In laboratory, rays are when light shines through a small hole. This acts as a point source of light, and light always travels in a straight line. Okay, so these are the meaning of the straight ray and light, ray of light and a beam of light. Now we see what happens when the light is coming. So there are three things what can happen, and depending on this we have different kinds of objects. The light can be transmitted, the light can be reflected, and the light can be absorbed. So or any partial combination of these things can happen. So if it is transmitted, the example is glass. If it is reflected, the example is silver and water. And if it is absorbed, the example is black pavement. So depending on this, we have different kinds of objects. First we have the transparent ones. Materials that you can see through allow almost all the light to pass through them. Light is allowed through with a very little bending or scattering of the rays of light. For example, clear glass, clean water, clear plastic. These are the examples of the transparent objects. Next we have the opaque objects. Opaque objects do not let any light to pass through them. You cannot see through them. For example, we have seen the door is shown here, a shoe. So these are the examples of an opaque object which do not allow light to pass through them. Next are the translucent materials. Materials that allow some light to pass through them. Objects allow light to pass, but they scatter the rays so much that you cannot get a clear view of material what is on the other side. For example, thin fabrics, frosted glass and thin paper. These are the examples of the translucent materials. Next we come to what do we mean by a shadow. A shadow is an area where direct light from a light source cannot reach due to obstruction by an object. It occupies all the space behind an opaque object with light in front of it. The cross-section of a shadow is a two-dimensional silhouette or reverse projection of the object blocking the light. The angle of a sun, its apparent height in the sky, causes a change in the length of the shadows. Low angles create longer shadows. That is why during the morning and the evening time we see a longer shadow as compared to the noon time. Next topic that we have is an eclipse. First of all, we'll see what is an eclipse, then we'll see the examples. An eclipse is a natural phenomenon. Nevertheless, in ancient and modern cultures, solar eclipses have been attributed to supernatural causes or regarded as bad omens. A total solar eclipse can be frightening to people who are unaware of its astronomical explanation, as the sun seems to disappear during the day and the sky darkens in a matter of minutes. So now here we have two kinds of eclipses. First is the solar eclipse. Okay, first we will start. In this solar eclipse there are two kinds: complete eclipse and the partial eclipse. So what is a solar eclipse? As seen from the earth, a solar eclipse is a type of eclipse that occurs when the moon passes between the sun and earth and the moon fully or partially blocks the sun. This can happen only at the new moon, when the sun and the moon are in conjunction as seen from earth, in an alignment referred to as zyzzy. In a total eclipse, the disk of the sun is fully obscured by the moon. In partial and annular eclipses, only part of the sun is obscured. Now in this we have total eclipse. Total eclipse occurs when the dark silhouette of the moon completely obscures the sun, intensely bright light of the sun, allowing much fainter solar corona to be visible. During any one eclipse, totality occurs at best only in a narrow tract of the surface of the earth. Now in the diagram, we are seeing here a total solar eclipse in which the moon is completely in front of the sun and there is no ray of the sun reaching the earth. So there is a complete shadow of the moon which is formed on the earth and sun is not at all visible. Next we have is the partial eclipse. Partial eclipse occurs when the sun and the moon are not exactly in line and the moon only partially obscures the sun. This phenomenon can usually be seen from a larger part of earth outside the track of an annular or total eclipse. However, some eclipses can only be seen as partial eclipse because the umbra passes above Earth's polar regions and never interacts Earth's surface. So see in the diagram here we are seeing there is the sunlight coming, the moon is there, but the moon is not completely covering the sunlight as due to the position of the earth and position of the sun. So partial eclipse are seen above and below the moon's shadow. So here we can see that the complete shadow of the moon is not formed on the earth and some light reaches the earth from the sun. So this is a partial solar eclipse. Next topic that we have is the lunar eclipse, which will be opposite from the solar eclipse. Now in the lunar eclipse, a lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes directly behind the earth into its umbra. This can occur only when the sun, earth and moon are aligned exactly very closely, so with the earth in the middle. Hence a lunar eclipse can only occur on the night of the full moon. A total lunar eclipse. A total lunar eclipse occurs when the whole moon disappears as it passes through the earth's umbral shadow. This is when the moon emits very different vibrant colors which are breathtakingly beautiful. So see in the diagram of the lunar eclipse we are seeing that a total lunar eclipse occurs on the full moon day when earth blocks the sunlight normally reflected by the moon. Some sunlight is bent through the earth's atmosphere, typically allowing the moon a coppery glow. This diagram looks down on the solar system from above. So we can see some amount of light is being reflected by the moon. So a moon appears of copper color. A partial lunar eclipse. A partial lunar eclipse occurs when a portion of the moon passes through the earth's umbral shadow. This is easy to see and can be viewed by the naked eye without any danger of damage to the eye whatsoever. Okay. Next topic that we have to study is about a pinhole camera. Now, in the pinhole camera, a camera without a lens which uses a very small hole pierced in one end to allow light to pass through. An upside down image is formed on the back of the camera, which can be covered with a photography paper or a film. So see, in the diagram here we are seeing that light rays from the object, they pass through the small hole and form the image on the photography paper, and the image is always inverted. Next we have the plane mirror. First we will see that what do we mean by a mirror. Since silver is a good reflector, a coating of silver on a glass, it forms a good mirror. If the silver coating is thin enough, the mirror can be made to transmit 50% of the light and reflect the rest of the 50%. This is called a half silvered mirror. Now, a plane mirror. A plane mirror is a highly polished surface that forms images by uniformly reflecting the light. Now, how the images are formed in the mirror? Light rays from the object strike the mirror and reflect towards the observer's eye. Even though the rays are reflected, the observer's brain treats them as if they had come from behind the mirror. An image appears to be behind a mirror. So always the image by a mirror will be formed behind it and not front of it, and that is why it will be known as a virtual image. Okay. So what all things have we seen in this chapter? We have seen about different kinds of objects. We have seen the ray and beam of light, then transparent, translucent and opaque objects. We have seen about what is a shadow, what do we mean by solar and lunar eclipse, a pinhole camera, and we have seen the last topic that we've seen is the plane mirror. This is all that we have to cover in this chapter. Soon we will meet with the next chapter, that is lesson 13. Till then, stay home and stay safe and complete your work. The links are given in the description box. Thank you.